hopefully in this very short video, because it's freezing. We're at the end of November now, and it's actually -1 at the minute as I'm doing this, but I've got a weekend off camping, so we're going to fit today some parking sensors. If you saw a video a few weeks ago where I had an unfortunate accident backing the van into a car, I'll link that at the end. Yeah, I'm going to remove the bumper and fit these. Should be fairly simple as long as it all goes to plan. Okay, first job, T30 Torx bolt. There are 4 of these at the top and 4 underneath, and then this centre section should come off. We won't bother filming all of this, you get the idea. I'll just insert this piece with a mobile because it's easier than getting the camera off the tripod. Your 4 at the bottom, you can see. Right, you can see 8 bolts out, they're all the same. The bottom ones were very loose. Yeah, obviously not done up very tight at the factory. I didn't even need the ratchet on them, they were finger tight really. So with that off, I'm hoping this centre section, yeah, this is just basically a piece of plastic. That's all it is. That's your actual bumper. And I presume if you have a tow bar fitted, you'd remove that. But we're not onto that. Luckily, you can see, I'll wipe this off, but I'm hoping you can see anyway. Where my finger is there are 4 equally spaced holes that if the vehicle actually had parking sensors from standard, that's where the marks are. So luckily we can pre-drill them in a minute. Okay, hopefully you can see this. Cleaned it up now and taking it in the house to the brains of the outfit, who's cleverer than me because she sat in the warm, and she centre marked all of the 4 holes. I'm going to drill them out now with some scrap wood underneath so I don't drill my bench. Third one more to go. And there we go. 4 holes. See this? This access panel will gain us entry to the rear light cluster. We're going to need that out because eventually we're going to have to wire up the reversing sensors to trigger on when you put it in reverse. So I'll zip that off. Just 4 crosshead screws, Phillips screws, whatever you want to call them. Not sure what we'll find under here yet, but it's blatantly obvious this is what we've got to do. That's why would Eldis have put it here. Don't drop the last screw down there and never find it again. My hands are freezing. That's one of them. Can't get it out without pulling on it. There we go. So yeah, in that bundle of wiring somewhere will be the reversing light. We'll find that in a minute with a meter. Right, so hopefully in the box you can see I've just cut it open. We get 4 individual parking sensors. We get an audible buzzer, a power lead, presumably 4 little gaskets for the thing, the brain box behind it that obviously works it, adhesive pad, and a hole saw to actually cut it at the right size. 21mm for reference. A big instruction book. Is it in English or Chinglish or what? Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Right, so we're going to have to get the wires into here. This door seal just pulls out. There's a bit of sticky stuff on there, but it'll let us get into there from the bottom. So you can't really see down here, but I'm going to come up from the bumper behind this plastic and into here. I'm just going to strip this back and find the wiring. Right, I don't know how much of this you can see. Access to the wiring, you can see the wires there. Through the process of Google, which is great these days, I don't even have to get a tester out. The white wire with the green tracer is your reverse wire, and then there's a nut inside there which we can use for the earth. So I'm just going to cut into that and take the power feed off there. Right, how much can you see? Not usually a fan of Scotch locks, as we call them, but it makes it very easy in here, and it's not like it's going to get damp, so we shouldn't have an issue. I've got the van in reverse with the lights on, just to make doubly sure I've got power to the Scotch lock. So we'll earth that there. Hang on. Might be better if we actually put the meter where you can see it. Just see if you can see that. Yes, you can. Modern technology. I've got the camera paired up to my phone, and if I touch the centre of the Scotch lock there, we've got, what's that, 11.5 volts, which is about right because the battery's at idle. So there you go. So we've picked up the power for the reverse. Just got to earth that now. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Just put a spade connector on. There's just a 10mm bolt onto your earth in there. Just noticed on the video as well, for some, I didn't know, you know, being so tall, I'm losing my hair. Shocking, isn't it? Still, if there's ever a remake of Robin of Sherwood, I'm right there. Let's bring you in there. Can you see? So there's the earth on that centre. So should have enough room in there to hide all the brain box as well. Okay, right, so holes drilled in, as we say. The sensors have got basically a connection in them, a join. You can separate them then just to make them shorter, easier to manage. The washers, I've found out because I asked Heather to Google, are angled. I don't know if you can see that, but basically they are fatter the one end, thinner the other, to create an angle. If your bumper isn't flat, this one is, so we're all right, they need to be flat, so that's to take out the curvature of your bumper, so we don't need those. So it really is just a case now of fitting all these into here. The only thing I should tell you, again, brains read this, there are 2 dots on the sensor. They must go 12 and 6 o'clock, and that's really it. So I'll put all these in. Yeah, they're on like little foam things, so they actually get tighter, but I want to have a look and line it up as I'm going along. So I'll push all these in, I'll get back to you. Right, so they're all in. They have got labels on A, B, C and D. Doesn't say which side should be A and which side should be D. I've just gone A, B, C, D. Can't see as it matters. I presume that would be more if you had got it like wired up to a camera, so it knew which side was working, but with just a buzzer I think we're okay. So I'm going to tidy these up now with cable ties, join them all together, get the bumper on and get them routed through into the corner. Okay, so we're left with a bunch of wires like that, and then I've got to feed this cluster into that corner somehow. I'll have to put the bumper back on first, I think. So one thing you need to do is feed your wires through this hole at the end. It'll allow you to get under this rubber, which I'll show you a bit more close up in a minute. Right, eventually, if I bring you in the corner there, you can see I've taped the wires together to make a flat ribbon. There's a load of black silicone gunk in this corner that holds this strip on. I'm going to fasten that back on, seal it all up. There is a little cut in the corner there you can just get under. It's not ideal, but I don't think it's going to rub through. I've put loads of tape around it. That's the only part I don't like about it. The rest is all just prise this open and feed it up, and then they're in there now waiting for me to do the inside part. So I'm going to fasten all this up, tighten my bumper back up first, and go from there. Bugger. Heather bought me a cup of tea out about 20 minutes ago and I forgot all about it, and now it's cold. The saying on the mug says it all, I'm afraid. Oh well, never mind. It's wet and it's warm, as they say. Calm yourself, Ian, calm yourself. It's all gone on good, and they're all hidden there. Bumper's all back on. The only thing you've got to watch when you're doing it, where your connectors are at the back of the things, when you're underneath, you've got to get them in a specific position for the bumper to sit level. Don't force it until it's sitting as it should be. Okay, so what I'm going to do before I put all this back together is actually, should have done this first I suppose, test it works. I think I'm going to end up putting the unit itself in there, but the buzzer I think I'm going to keep out there somewhere. You won't see it, but I think probably the best chance I can hear it. I don't want to run it to the front. Well, it's not long enough to run it to the front, but I don't really want it in there, so I think I'm going to try and hide it on the back of the bedboard there somewhere. Let's see if it works first. Right, so that's all connected up. It basically says A, B, C, D on the back and power, and then the other one says display, which obviously on this model display is actually buzzer, but presumably you'd have a camera on another one. So this is where it's going to be fun. I'm going to pause you now, start the van. Well, I can't start the van. Put it in reverse and see if this beeps at me, because there is a sensitivity setting. So before I drop it all in there, I've got to see if it works. Okay, so reverse is on. I'm going to walk up to the van now. Just going to mess with the sensitivity, I think. If you can hear me, you can see the sensitivity is now set too far. I'm right in the garage behind you. If I walk up to it, they work, but it's too sensitive. Alright, so I just basically had to pull the rubber off the side again just to route my beeper. I've put it there, as you can see, just because I think it'll be a bit louder for me. I'm a bit mutton, so here's what we've got. About 4 foot away it starts beeping. About 1 foot away you're on the constant. I think that's good enough for me. Okay, so what I've done there, if you can see, I haven't bothered sticking the brain box down. It's actually held quite tightly with the bunch of wires that are in there. I've just cable tied it to the wires so it doesn't rattle about, and you can see down there all I've got is just one little wire coming out to the buzzer. Right, I'm in the van. Heather's farting around behind me, you can perhaps see her on the camera. Let's just run the engine and see. Hang on. Can't hear anything. Huh? Oh, of course I'm not in reverse. That's why she can't. Ah, good. So you can see Heather on the screen, wandering about. Looking good. So I can hear it even with the engine on. Right, we are done. They work. I can hear them in the cab, that's the main thing. So yeah, as good as it's going to be. They look quite good, quite factory. I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description below to the Amazon page we got them from. As I say, we don't have an Amazon store, so we're not going to get paid for that. It's just to save millions of questions of where did you get them from, mate? So, and I'll put the price on as well. Anyway, hopefully this has helped everybody. We'll see you on another one. Bye bye.